About a few minutes, and then hopefully we can get all that done before it starts raining again.
Cool.
As Mr. Yakubowski just said, I'm Stephen Babsett. I'm currently the captain of the Coppell High School Solar Racing Team. This currently is the car that we had planned on running in the race up until a few weeks ago. About a week ago. We've decided to build a completely new one and try and get that in by July. That's going to be a bit of a challenge. This car is going on its 6th or 7th year now. Various iterations, very little of it is the same as it was when we first built the car. Mainly there's just a little bit of framework that's still around. We completely changed out suspension, reworked the brakes, accelerator pedal, panels are arranged differently. Our car is geared to run up to 40 miles an hour, but we'll typically run it closer to 20. 25 is what we're going for to average at the race this year, because that's about where we'll be getting in as much energy into the panels as we'll be putting out through the motor, and end up with a dead battery pack at the end of the race, which is what we want. We want to use all of our energy to get as far as fast as we go. At this time, I'd like to open it up to any questions, any comments.
Why'd you switch cars?
Karen, you got any questions?
We decided that there was no way we could get this car any more effective to reach our goals that we wanted to, and the best option for us was going to be to build a new one. We finished a frame model for the new one just last night, actually, and yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, you're steering in there.
How far will it go when you're doing far distance? How long will it?
Theoretically, indefinitely. Off the battery pack alone, though, it will run around 8 hours. And so we can almost get 200 miles out of it.
Wow. This we did 325 miles a couple years ago over 4 days with the big motor speedway. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, if you have a outdoor something, you have batteries, so you say you could go 25 miles an hour.
It's been a while since we've run like that. We get about 1,000 watts from the panels on a good sun. Using that, I'd say we can draw about 11 amps out of our battery
Break
pack.
even's about 8-9 miles an hour.
8-9 miles an
Yeah,
hour?
because we've a couple of times we've drained it, and then we'll run about 8-9, and we can coast and maybe do a little charging and pick up a little more speed again. But that's mainly because it's 1,000 pounds.
Yeah. The new one we're building, we're hoping to be close to around 600, and that'll be a lot easier.
So your solar capacity, I was a little late. Did you say what your capacity is? 1,300 watts. What is it?
We have 5 roughly 200 watt panels, so 195, so we get around 1,000 watts.
Okay, so the main thing for building a new one is this one's very heavy?
Yes. We're hoping to cut the weight by almost 30%.
Do you think you're going to plain solar laminates rather than full heavy panels?
We considered it, and we've been talking to a company for a few months. They're in the process of moving and won't get back to us. So we want to, but it's unlikely that's going to happen before the race. So we're thinking of moving to what's called the tabletop design, where basically instead of having the panels level with the car, you'll have them above the car and have struts going up to support that. Our idea actually is to have a bar going right across the roll bar that you can then angle the panels to match the sun at various parts of the day without having to dismount.
As far as the rules go, what are the limitations on what amount of panels you can put on a car?
I know there's a square meterage you're allowed to have.
So basically,
Yeah.
if it fits within the dimensions, the allowable dimensions, we can put as much on it as we want to carry, but there's a, diminishing returns because of weight and other components.
There's also a limit to the efficiency of the panel, which if you have higher efficiency panel, it will put you up in a higher class.
Oh, really? So if you got 21% efficiency, you'd be in a super sports.
In fact,
There's
one of the teams from California last year had some high dollar panels, and it put them up. They were at the bottom of the next advanced class instead of being real competitors in the basic class.
We're using SolidWorks.
Working on
Where
getting
we
them trained
can.
for that.
Yeah.
We do just minimal, stress testing. Well, I make them go. As they design new components, they have to prove to me first on the model that it'll hold up like a 3G bump or something like that.
We try to do that kind of analysis, but for the most part, we're self-taught in the program, and So there's a lot of, do we know what we're doing? Not really, but trying.
Are you going to cannibalize this car as much as possible, or are you going to sell it, auction it, or what's the take?
We want
You
to
guys
keep
wanna
this
see all the
car
video
as
and
together
pictures in
as
there?
we can
Yeah?
up
Seen
until we
enough?
need to cannibalize it for the new car, because we want to be able to do like take it out to events like this, have it ready to go, and worst case scenario that if the other car doesn't get done, we don't want to have 0 cars for the race. But we were planning on reusing the panels as of right now because we haven't been able to get the new ones, reusing the motor, but for the most part, and some of the switches, that's all we're taking from this car. Maybe the steering wheel.
Yeah, I just wondered what you could tell.
Well, maybe next are 40,000.
Yeah, well, that's what I say. Someone.
You see anything under here?
And it goes to funding this. Transportation.
Yes.
It was removed about 3 days ago when we were adding in the new forward roll bar as rules require. It will go here, but
Goodbye.
more to come out some things are here, some things aren't. It really depends on how fast you put it together.
Why only one wheel in the back axle?
It makes steering easier and the entire car lighter. When you want to do steering with the 3-wheel system, it's really easy to design your control arm on the kingpin to angle the wheel. You just draw the line between the points, and that's the angle you make it.
How do you adjust for the wind? Like when you have both panels on top, I mean, how does that impact your driving?
We've actually never done the panels on the top. You kind of just hold the wheel like you would when you're driving normally. How do you adjust it in a normal car?
airborne? I mean, is it ever looked up?
When we hit a bump on the freeway on the trailer, yes. 1,000 pounds, no.
No. Yeah, it's a little vaguely worded in the rules, so it's up to judge discretion.
No, you can't.
But you
You
can't.
can't at all. The panels have to be fixed during the race. You can take them off like when you're charging in the afternoon, you can tilt them and you can take them off the car to move them, but you can't reconfigure them. So you can't have like hidden panels that come out of the body or anything like that.
I was just thinking about just something.
Yeah, no, you can't. It has to be stationary.
Anytime you're doing the driving, during one of your drive times, no. But in between or after, it's up to the judges, yet they usually will say no.
A lot of the rules are designed to make this accessible to high school students. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, why some of the rules are the way they are for this. It has to do with cost and being able to...
Yeah, that's one of the reasons the divisions are so different. That one division above us, our motor is only about $1,000. Their motors start at $25,000. We could not be competitive in that market. We just don't have the funding to do so.
And how much for that extra incremental 25 times in cost? What do they get out of that? Is it horsepower,
They get about
acceleration?
25 times better.
Yeah.
Hub motor will run upwards of 99% efficient, and it uses a variable gap magnets in it, so it's basically like having a transmission in it as well that has no efficiency loss.
What's the efficiency of the one that you have, roughly?
85 to 88%.
So the difference is between 85
Yeah,
and 99, so that's 25 times more.
but you gain a whole lot more. That's just the efficiency of turning it over. But we've got one set gearing on it, and that one you can. It's max efficiency all the way from 0 to 100.
What do you call it? A variable magnet?
It's a variable gap magnet.
Variable gap magnet.
It's got a steep learning curve in it, and it's got its own computer that runs it. It's basically what you find in that one is what you start to find in electric cars and stuff. The same type of idea. And so it changes the magnets to make it go faster or slower, and run more efficiently at different speeds.
So you guys, this event basically you run at a relatively constant speed, so you can
It's all about efficiency. So you try to find that sweet spot and lock in. Yes, sir.
You mentioned you find that more expensive ordering electric cars. Is something like the lease
don't cost $25,000 for the big companies because the big companies will use several thousand.
They're making them. They're making them themselves.
But if you could find like a leaf that somebody's used,
But typically that motor's also a lot heavier.
Yeah.
The motors we're using, this motor weighs in at 25 pounds.
11 kilograms.
25 pounds plus about 20 pounds for the sprocket on the back. The hub motor itself only weighs 20 pounds total.
What kind of battery? Sealed lead acid, and that's part of the regulation for our class. We have to use sealed lead acid, no greater than 19% efficient cells, and a non-hub motor. The division above us, I think they're allowed to go up to 21 or 22.
No, they use any cell.
What?
They use any cell.
Any cell efficiency?
Yeah, there's the only limitation in the next division up is batteries. Has to be lead acid, off-the-shelf lead acid also. And then the advanced division is anything you want to pay for.
How long have y'all had a team?
We started in 08.
And where's the space that
7
you
years.
work?
7 years,
Computer lab that I got all the computers out of school, and then we just roll it out back and weld outside. Every school, pretty much, some schools have maybe they have a welding shop or something in their school. I know other schools that do it in the science classroom. Another one does it in the hallway. Everybody just kind of figures out what works. We used to drive across town to someone's warehouse and work there, but then we got some space worked out in the school.
And how many teams have
You
you
had 7 races too?
surrounding?
I believe there's 8 currently in the DFW area, active ones. There's 110 active teams nationwide and another 300 that are wanting to get started. And actually those include worldwide because there's a couple international teams.
Is this a class or is this
It's all after school. They do about 10 hours a week after school and then work all
guys
summer
should
long.
do that, Jameson.
These kids give up their
Right?
summer. They
Can you
work
do
on
that
this
in your
stuff
school?
Summer. Talk a little bit about that.
Do they get academic? Is this like a independent study class, or do you get some sort of academic
No,
credit for that?
no. They do. They love it, and of course colleges love it too.
follow some of your former students from several years ago?
Oh yeah, almost all of them have. A few gone into business. I've got one that's just graduated applying to honors business at UT. She was our project manager on this. But then I've got another one doing engineering. He's doing masters at Stanford. Another one's masters at UT right now. They've all gone into science, some field of science and engineering. Most of them, because they're running a small business. Because we also for a track race we got a $20,000 budget. So I make them do everything. So they're basically running a small business. So they're really figuring out what do they like, not like, what fields do they want to go into, what do they want to do. And so when they get to college, they also have that experience that most seniors are dying for, and they've already walked into
And
it.
often have it figured out by their second year of college.
Yeah, my kids will walk in, and it's not uncommon for them to get on professors' projects or get onto a team there their freshman or sophomore year right out the gate. Because of the projects we do, both our class and things like this. 35 pounds each.
We got a lot of car enthusiasts, but we don't really have a lot of people who work in the shop.
What is the efficiency limitation on
Your class has a state as far as
Well, I've got a set of 18% cells.
I've done some stuff to my car over there.
Have
any questions?
Because my parents have said it's so
No.
destroying.
You guys have any
So I had
questions?
to go at it.
You want to ask these students?
One all the way on the right, to the back. Yeah. I've worked some on the suspension, some on, I changed out the radio. But yeah, getting in there, I honestly don't even know how to change the oil on my car. That's one of the most basic things, because it's got 3 or 4 panels.
Clouds like this, these are just ideas.
Don't know the model.
This year, I know student freshman, like this year,
Those are SunPower 8.
Trying to buy a pallet of those, but I
Don't need a pallet. SunPower's, they're little.
In a minute.
They hold on to that.
all the factory secondary supply chain.
Oh, cool.
Trying to get them out of the country, but
And also, while they're designing the car, design the documentation.
The way to service it.
Exactly, so it's step by step. So basically, the first